Hey everyone, welcome to episode 17 of the Cinematic Boys podcast. Today we got Bilal and Sammy on the first ever podcast episode.
What's going on? Glad to
Say
be
his
on.
words.
Apes together
Together,
stronger.
strong.
What a wonderful day.
Apes do not kill apes.
So guys, if you don't know,
I am Caesar now.
That's 3 of the 10 commandments of the Planet of the Apes.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah,
So
it's a
if-
statement.
if you guys didn't know, we are going to be reviewing King of the Planet of the Apes today. But before we get into that, first of all, Sammy, how you doing?
No, I'm doing all right, man.
How's your week been?
Week's been good. Just been working. I saw the TV glow today.
One second. My parents are calling me. One sec.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
good.
just pause your mic below.
That's all I know.
Okay. So you can continue, Sammy.
Oh, it was really good, man. It's a very weird movie. I think it's one of those movies that it doesn't fully make sense the first time. Like I really want to watch it like 2 or 3 more times because there's just a lot they're trying to talk about and there's a lot they just do really fast. But I personally loved it. It kind of got mixed reception with the people I'm with. Like some of them like most everyone like really loved like the style of it and the music and the way it was, but like some like there was just some parts that were just like for some people like it was just almost like didn't really make a lot of sense to a point where it was like, wow, this is just kind of just shit happening. I was kind of the same way at first. Like there's just a lot that they're doing and it's not really explained 100%. You just kind of got to like infer what you think it is. But I really liked it. I personally loved it. And like I said, overall the reception was really good from it. Like everyone enjoyed something out of it. So that was the good news, you know. It was just it was very A24, but it was very strange.
So I've been hearing about there's like horrific like imagery. Is it like true about that? It's a little bit like
It's
disturbing
like
and horrific.
there's like it's almost like YouTube core a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? Like when they start doing like the 90s show and they shoot it like the 90s show, there's some bits that are very like glitch and horrific. But not like insane. I would say it's not like Smile where it's just like horrorcore, you know what I'm saying? It's more like every now and then you're like, "Ooh, wow, that is a weird image." Like
So
there's
is
one
it
of like an
like
evil like an evil ice cream cone and you're like, "Oh god, that looks awful."
is it like a hereditary or is it like a talk to me?
Neither. It's not really a horror movie. Like it's very much
Is it like psychological horror?
kind of I wouldn't even say it's horror. Like I feel like a lot of it's a drama. It's just like done in a very like it's a narrative film and then it does like and it'll go off track and be experimental for a little bit and it'll go back to being like narrative. And so I don't really even like it has horror elements, but it's not really scary. It's not really horrific. The message they're trying to say isn't like following how a horror movie would go. It's just kind of like stuff happening. It feels like it feels like a Netflix show or like one of those like not this come off weird like tone wise very much like a Stranger Things, like there's something else on, you know what I mean, and it involves like kids, but then like I don't want to ruin it because there's kind of how I interpreted it, there's a twist. Other people didn't interpret it like that, but the way I interpreted it, there was a twist. And it kind of goes in a direction you don't expect, and I like that. So I feel like you just gotta watch it, and then we can talk about it because it's a very strange
Oh.
movie.
What's up, Bilal? Welcome back.
Oh.
So me and Sam was just
Oh. That's a wall.
Wow.
so me and Sam were just talking about um I saw the TV go while you were gone. But overall, what was I gonna say?
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
I love how this starts
Language.
the podcast. Okay, Captain America.
Alonso Harris. What?
But so did you see any other? So is that mostly?
I mean, I
that
saw that in Kingdom.
okay?
Yeah, that's all I had time for.
So Bilal, how's your week been?
It's been pretty wonderful at my last.
So
What'd you
for
do?
me, oh yeah. What did you do?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, hey, it's
How's
sometimes you
work
got to
been
do
lately?
nothing. Yeah.
We're working obviously. I saw the OG Apes movies, and I saw
Yes.
I saw Peak, 12 Angry Men.
Oh, I've heard that's good.
Wait,
You
Bilal, we
ain't
gotta get
really
we.
seen what-
I know I've been sleeping. There's some. I got a lot I got to catch up on this summer. So
I also watched the first Mad Max.
Bilal, wait. I haven't said how
Same.
my week went. Yeah, he just went to the week's watches.
As a Challengers too. That was pretty good.
he's just going through. Hey, I was into it.
I saw Monster.
Oh, was it
Oh, he's
good?
saying a movie Monday of the week.
Yeah. I rewatched Snowpiercer.
Oh, I've heard that's good. I haven't
I
seen that
saw
one either.
Abigail again.
I still haven't seen it. I heard it
Oh
on
my
digital
goodness, I
now.
love Abigail so much.
No, I've heard
I,
really good things about Abigail.
It's like
Spoilers. The scene, Sammy. Oh, I'm not going to even say the scene. I don't want to even spoil it for Sammy. There's a scene. I'm
I don't
serious.
want to know.
And you gonna die laughing because me and Bilal know what the scene is. It has to do with Catherine Newton and Dan Stevens. That's all I'm gonna say.
Heard.
Funniest shit ever.
I'll have to wait and see, man.
But overall, I've been doing good this week.
Good.
Just work mostly
Good.
stuff. A lot of
So
movie watching.
sure.
But Bilal, is that for your movies that you have watched this week?
I think so.
Sammy, is that the only 2 movies you watched this week?
I feel like I watched something else. I'm trying to think though. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos because Sopranos are really good.
A little bit of Breaking Bad too. I saw.
Yeah, Breaking Bad's good. Oh, I beat Hellblade, which is it's a very like cinematic game. Like I feel like if it was a movie, it would be like insane. It's about like a schizophrenic woman in like Norse mythology, and she's like trying to get her like dead husband back from hell. And like it's really cool because she like fights her demons, and it's like a puzzle game, and then there's like voices and stuff, and like you should check out some like
Nerd.
cutscenes.
I think I've heard about that game.
But if you watch any like playthroughs on like YouTube, it's real. Like the way they like shot it with motion capture and everything is crazy. So very,
Speaking of
very
video
good game.
games, I forgot about this. We got finally the first look at college football 25.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. That's been like a dead series for like 10 years or more now
Did you ever
in
play those,
America.
Sammy?
Yeah, I played like my brother had them growing up, so I played like a couple of the ones he would get from like yard sales and shit.
Oh, I'm definitely excited. It's like, was it July 16th? No. Yes. Yeah, it's the week of Word Twisters comes out because you're doing the original copy that Friday, but then if you get the deluxe edition, you can get it that Monday. So I'm gonna try pre-order that in Madden 25 because they got both of them together for I think $150. So I'm gonna get that.
Got the dual combo. This is sponsored by EA, by the way. Not.
It,
Nah,
it
no,
is not
Not.
sponsored.
It's
I
not.
know it's not.
It's not. Don't listen. It's not.
You want
But,
to listen? This is sponsored by 20th Century Fox because we're talking about kingdoms. So let's
no,
get
we are
on
not
with it.
sponsored by anybody. No,
We are sponsored by the Disney Corporation.
no, we are not sponsored by anybody. I
Anyways,
don't know what you guys are
Dakota,
talking.
Dakota, let's get on topic. Well, what were your thoughts on Kingdom, bro? Like,
I
not
haven't
spoil-
said my watches for the week, bro.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
then what is it?
I have been watching a lot this past 2 weeks because, of course, we skipped another week of recording, so a lot of watches. So, as you guys heard last time, I watched Challengers. So, I've been watching some Luca films, Guadagnino. So, I watched Call Me by Your Name and Bones and All. Love Bones and All. Really good movie. Then I went on a little extra movie of a Timmy Timmy of Chalamet and Kick. I watched Hot Summer Nights, A24, really good. Then I watched all the Planet of the Apes except Conquest and Battle. That's the only two I haven't seen so far. And then yesterday I finally get to see Night Swim. So I knocked that off of my 2024 watch list.
You definitely been conquering some, man. That's what's up.
But let's get right into it, guys. Today's podcast episode is about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is the fourth movie in the current Planet of the Apes saga. We're going to get into that later in our news section. But this movie stars Kevin, was it Durant?
Yeah, Durant, the NBA player, obviously.
No, I love it. Someone
He's my
in the
favorite
comments,
character.
I love it. Someone in the comments, they're like, "When did KD become an actor?" I'm like, "Wrong, KD."
My KD, my favorite KD.
And of course, Owen Teakwich, pretty good. But let's get right into it. Spoiler free at first, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go with Sammy because this is his first ever regular podcast episode, and he is the one that might have it most fresh on his mind where you watched it more recently than us. But what are your thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
I personally really love the movie. Initially hearing like it kind of had like good to mixed reception, I definitely was going in like I don't really know what to expect. But as a whole, it makes me really excited for future franchise entries.
One sec.
Oh, you're good.
I
You're
need to put
good.
in the laundry.
No, you're good, bro.
You're good, bro. What were your thoughts, Sammy?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were pausing. That's why I got
You're
up.
good.
Anyway, so yeah, overall, King of Play Apes was really good. I felt like it definitely like progressed this series in a way that I didn't expect it to, but I really like the direction they're going. I think it makes sense for why they have multiple movies. It as a standalone film, it works really well, and it's a good movie. But it also sets up the next few movies in a way that like you don't really know where it's going, but you like where it's going. I don't know how else to explain it like that, but it just I don't know. It felt like they hit all the right notes. The CGI was really good, especially for the apes. I felt like you could see an improvement compared to like say recently I watched like Dawn and More and like both of those like while they do look great, obviously you have to show evolution from 10 years or within the last decade of like CGI. It still has to look better than the old one. You know what I mean? And I feel like it looks really good here. There's a lot of beautiful shots. Westball's direction is really good. I'm actually really excited to see him do Legend of Zelda now after seeing him do this, just because I feel like he gets environments really well here. And yeah, I just feel like there's a really cool like generational layer to the movie to where it makes you reflect on our history and like how humans evolved, and it's interesting to see how we interpret another species becoming dominant evolving and the similarities between that. So yeah, I personally love the movie. What about you, Dakota?
I really liked it, but first, I didn't even know West Ball was directing Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, he's signed on, I believe, for Sony doing it, and I don't know when it comes out.
It's gonna have to be between one of these films because he's doing all three in this trilogy. Because I think when they announced this movie that was gonna be a trilogy, they announced that he was gonna be the director for all three.
Let's see. Yeah, so then I feel like it'll definitely be in between at some point because they announced it just recently. So I feel like it'd be weird to
So
wait
I'm
forever.
thinking probably because if they do the 3-year time slot like they did with the first trilogy of these movies, like say this one came out in 24, part 2 of the trilogy comes out in 27, then part 3 comes out in 30. I'm thinking probably between 2 and 3
Yeah.
because it would be too much time to rush Legend of Zelda for 3 years from now if you want to do really good at it, especially live action wise.
Well, especially, I mean, since they just announced it, it might have literally now is in the writing pre-production phase too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I feel like it's hard to tell with the announcement where they are with it since there isn't a release date. But I don't see it being like you said. I don't see it being like 2030 or something for that, especially since they just announced it. Like I feel like that's going to be a big project, and since Mario was $1 billion movie, now they have the confidence to like pull something off like that.
I'm thinking probably 2028, probably, if you do
I feel like
that.
that'd be a good estimate. Yeah, like 3 or 4 years.
Because if
Like,
you do the second movie of this trilogy in 2027, because he'll be already done with all the work, and he could be filming Legend of Zelda, get that done, then he could film his third movie. Because heck, we don't know, he might film the rest of these movies in the rest of this in the next trilogy also, if he
yeah,
does good
there's no
enough.
telling what like strategy he's going to use to pull off either. You know what I mean? It might be like a hey, let's try to get a bit of both movies here. But also, that's why like until we get into spoilers, I really like the direction that they're going without really giving us a lot to go off of. You know?
True. So Bilal, what are your thoughts on King of the Planet of the Apes?
My thoughts is you definitely see the different directing style between Matt Reeves and Wes Ball. You really tell that it's a different era with the directing style, but especially with the bright greenery, it looks really beautiful and it's really visually stunning to look at. But the thing that separates Matt Reeves' style and Wes Ball is Matt Reeves' style just represents the downfall of humanity, especially Dawn and War. This movie just feels like a new beginning and a new perspective, a new apes. Yes, there's darker themes in this movie, but I do like the elements of these apes having control over these humans. It just brings this homage to the original movie that happened in 1968. I want to
Yeah,
say,
yeah, that was the first one.
but I also really like the performances, especially with Noah, played by Owen Teague. I thought he did a great job. Farrah Allen was fantastic as May. And lastly, I really appreciate Kevin Durant's performance as Proxima Caesar. I just wish we got more of his character. But I think this is a really great entry and it sets things up really well for the second movie. And I really like Wes Ball's world building for this. And I was a fan of Wes Ball from the Maze Runner movies, so it's really you really see that stuff from Maze Runner translate over to the Apes movies.
Okay, for me, I really enjoyed King of the Planet of the Apes. Like you guys said, the direction of what Matt Reeves did with the final two movies in that Caesar trilogy to what we're getting now in this current movie, totally different. Because Matt Reeves did like a darker type of tone during his movies. This goes back to the lighter tone of what Rise of the Planet of the Apes did. But it don't what the does is separate from like Rise to this is we get more apes in this because of course this is 300 years after Caesar has passed away and his like legacy starts of what we know him as. And I really like that. And like you guys said, Wes Ball, especially you, Sammy, he has some good like set designs, like the visuals and stuff, because showing that 300-year time period jump and what it looks like around the environment. Because I don't know if they're in San Francisco when it's not a big spoiler. Where like when Owen goes into like a city part, or if that's New York City, but you could tell that it has been like 300 and something years because you can still see the outlines of the building, but all the vegetation has grown all over it. I love the score in this. The score just fits right up there with the rest of this like the trilogy before. All these actors are good.
Yeah.
Owen Teague and Fade Allen. Never heard of them before, and they're on my radar
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Fair Allen, go check out the Witcher series on
Yeah,
Oh, I
Netflix.
didn't know that she was in
okay.
The Witcher.
I did. It was I was scrolling through TikTok because where Kingdom was like trending at the time, and of course you know if it like other people's like stuff pops up like was it Kevin Durant was in Abigail recently, so Abigail clips have been popping up for me where he's been in that, but Witcher stuff has been popping up also where she's in it. but Owen Teague never heard of him in anything before. Like I said before, but really keeping him on the radar now because he's actually good in this.
He was
Kevin
in
Durant.
it.
Yeah,
Wait, he's in it.
Yeah, he was in a chapter like he was one of the bullies.
Wait, is he really one of the boys? Wait, hold up. Let me look this up. I didn't even know this.
yeah, he's Patrick in the movie.
No, wait. I gotta see who this is. I gotta see which character he played. Holy crap! I didn't even know that. Wow. So that's really shocking. You learn something new every day.
Every day.
But overall, I like the direction of what this trilogy is going for, especially this setup for that ending. And I definitely will get into more of that when we go into spoiler territory. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. And so let's get right into it, guys. So if you guys haven't seen King of the Planet of the Apes yet, it's right now available in theaters. Go see this movie. I think it's still showing in IMAX until this
Furiosa.
Friday. Until this Friday or Thursday for Furiosa when it comes out. So go see this movie in IMAX, any larger platform, screen platform, if you guys want to. But let's get right into it, guys. What are your spoiler thoughts on this movie? Let's go with Bilal first.
Spoiler thoughts. I did really like the opening. That really did really talk about Caesar's funeral, and then that just opens up to the next generations. But I also really appreciate that Noah is a very unsure character. He doesn't know Caesar's legacy, and then you see the Protestant Caesar be like the big bad that builds up to being the person like twisting his legacy, twisting his words, and you really understand, oh, this guy just misunderstood what Caesar's points were. But I also like in the beginning when Prominent Caesar's um, characters were attacking Eagle Clan, and they say for Caesar, and you're like just shocked now on what's going on and why these people are like, oh, it's saying for Caesar because we know that Caesar doesn't want this. Caesar wanted the humans and apes to coexist with each other. And seeing Noah's like the eagle thing. I really like the eagle thing because his dad used to speak to eagles by like, singing to them. And Noah couldn't control the eagle. His dad's eagle for a while. And you see that eagle always bite him in the beginning. So when Noah's dad gets killed, that just brought something emotional towards the character. But I do like the character Rocca a lot, especially with him being so knowledgeable, saying, oh, Promise Caesar is twisting Caesar's legacy. Caesar wanted this, Caesar wanted that. And Noah's just learning about who Caesar was through Rocca. But I also like the hint of Rocca talking about the human character being Nova at the time. Because I think Rocca says, we call all humans Nova for Caesar's time, like his generation. I like that Easter egg, but that Easter egg goes deep as it goes through to the original movie as well. So having those little Easter eggs for people who are fans of the series is so great. I'm gonna let whoever talk next. I think I talked enough for the bit.
You can go, Sammy.
No, you're good. I definitely agree. I feel like kind of what y'all were telling me like a couple days ago when we were talking about this. I definitely feel like Caesar's impact in this movie is done in a really interesting way. I like that it was kept out of the marketing very heavy because it's a very like it feels natural here. I like that like whenever we watch the original not the original trilogy, but the prequel trilogy, we get this sense of Caesar as a leader, but we don't really see him like a prophet as this like franchise is now framing him as. At least for certain people in different ways. You have like the order of Caesar, and then you have like the kingdom like manipulation of Caesar and saying that he's Caesar, which echoes a lot of like human history and saying that you're a god or a godly figure to rule. And I just like that it really shows that even with the apes evolution, it's still very much in the same vein as how we evolved and how we
Yeah.
see culture. And I think to me that's what really made this movie stand out was how relevant it understood its material,
Yeah.
but also how it had something really to say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It felt like that.
I mean, with culture nowadays, there's some people that twist culture in the real world, and I'm like, yo, this is something that's actually happening, and there's a point of showing that in this fictional movie. Like it, I like what West Ball with that because you could really understand that perspective.
And it comes off genuine. It doesn't come off like this is the first time I feel like in a long time like the film side of things and the Hollywood side of things like really like mesh well together. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like there's like a miscommunication or like they're trying to intro something without really having perspective on how to intro it.
Yeah.
Everything like and I also just like that Caesar's messages are very like certain things are misinterpreted and we know that as an audience member, but that's kind of what makes it interesting when thinking about it. It's like I'm sure if we really track down like everything that our prophet said, it would definitely be a little bit different than
Yeah.
how it is now because time, time changes, interpretations change, people change. And like for example with Raka, like yes he's knowledgeable, but there's times he's talking and like they clearly don't understand how humans were with apes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think they're like we're sitting in the airport, like being fed and
Yeah.
could possibly talk, and it's like no, they were literally like
Oh yeah,
new species. You know what I mean?
we definitely seen that humans treat apes poorly, but that was another great conversation because the discussions of oh can apes and humans coexist with each other was interesting in the sense that there was like the point when apes were silent, and so it's like no was like oh if you could coexist, I had to be silent. Like he was talking to the I believe May in that scenario, and I'm like, yo, yeah, that's the only time they were realistically coexisting because we saw the events of Rise where in a zoo or no well um in the zoo that these apes were being tortured. We saw in Dawn that that's the only shot of these apes to be coexisting with these humans. Obviously, Koba ruined that plan. And then war, you see that outbreak and that war between humans and apes just go further. And you understand the perspectives of humans because they're losing their senses of humanity. So that conversation goes really deep in these movies. And I think bringing up that point in Kingdom, should these apes be silenced to coexist with these humans? It's a conversation that we could discuss and something interesting about it.
And it just kind of adds an extra layer to like, oh, this is just a instead of just oh, this is a movie about apes walking around talking. Like there's a very big like evolutionary conversation to have, and like humans still fighting for dominance without reading the room. Like it's kind of I forgot the actor's name. It's Frank from Shameless. That was my favorite the guy who like speaks fluently that's in the kingdom, the human that May chokes out with the long hair and the
Oh, I
ponytail.
know who you're talking about. Yeah.
That's Frank from Shameless, like a really popular like show that was on Showtime for like 11 seasons. But like his character to me was really interesting cuz that's definitely a twist in a weird direction to take the series, knowing where things go 2000 years from now in the original. Um and that was something I really liked about the ending. Like I felt like we had a great standalone story, but it's still unpredictable where they're going to go. Are we still going to follow these characters that we learn now and there's a time jump? Is it going to be a whole nother generation and we
Yeah.
see that evolution again? Because
Yeah.
I would be okay with that too. I think it'd be
Yeah.
cool to see
But
it jump like 80 years. You
I
know what I mean?
mean, you do feel bad for the character Noah though. Like in the end, that May was about to shoot him.
No, I
May
mean, yeah, that definitely did put a dent, man.
because Noah was trying, like, was about trust May. like during the end. Like May kind of uses trust for her own like selfish manner, but you understand why May is doing it. But she wants her rights as a human being too, right? So
And
it's
it's just
like you
different.
could,
Like they have that like they've become the ape. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So like you don't really need to hate a character May, but you understand where she's coming from. Like she wants to do the right thing for her own people. And then the apes that want to do the right thing for the apes. So it's like, yeah, she could be a little knowing at points, but like you'll understand where she's coming from. That's the main thing of it.
And like her importance and like what her character represents and like the position she's in because of that.
Yeah,
And I don't know, I liked that she was somebody that you could never fully like. There were times where you really loved her and you liked them all together, and then there were times you're like, well, this is the reality of the situation. So
yeah,
like now I don't know how I feel about her
yeah.
because
And
like
I'm
you want to see the
definitely
apes win.
I'm definitely excited to see what they do when they return these characters. But you're definitely going to see May back. There's no way May's not back.
Especially with how they tease the ending, like that's the thing I'm curious about now, connecting to the originals.
Yeah,
Because does that mean that maybe the space team that was sent wasn't prior to the virus?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, not that I don't know how that would connect, but my point is that the fact that I can't tell you where this is going, and I like that, and they have a lot of different avenues to how they can
yeah,
approach leading up to the first movie. I'm really
yeah.
excited to see that and how they like really build that lore
Also, you know what I love is Rocka giving the Caesar like chain or was it whatever
with the
Caesar
window.
with the window and says Noah important. And the way the movie ends is Noah giving May that chain and saying it's important. So I feel like that's going to hint at an important fact for the character May. Because I feel like May is going to be a character that's going to be siding with the apes in the future. I have that feeling. I feel like that has been a foreshadow of that.
Especially how much she like understands and like really sees where the apes are coming from now and
Yeah,
where they're
like if she
going and
was,
how they've treated other
I mean, if
humans.
she was realistically against the apes, she would have shown Noah right there.
It was that little hint of like something's holding her back, so there's something
Exactly.
to say about that, you know.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
did you think, Dakota? What are your thoughts on it, man?
So I really want to get into this ending because I've been thinking about this ending, and you were talking about it, and I know where it's going straight to. So the telescope thing they're looking through, right? So we're always wondering, like, what are they looking at? They are. It might be Icarus. So in the Rise in the Planet of the Apes, I talked about this on the YouTube and TikTok video. There's an article and on the TV, it shows the Icarus launching off in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and by the end it says lost in space. That they're all lost in space. So I'm thinking the chip that May got and the communications, they're trying to communicate with Icarus to tell him to get back down to Earth as fast as possible so they can help them out.
Okay, I didn't even remember that.
So that's why I think this trilogy is setting up. Is that the next one? I'm thinking either they can go what they did with the original Apes trilogy, which I kind of wish they don't after watching it. I wish they kind of did like their own little twist on it.
I hope they don't bring time travel into this.
No, I don't want no time travel in this. The time travel thing is just. I think it was
Time.
good for its time, but like right now, because I after watching the original movies from this one, I haven't seen the other two yet, like Conquest and Battle. But in those, it does like the Icarus mission comes down to Earth first. They find out that Earth has actually been taken over by apes. Then they go back, and then the end of the franchise for that, it's the Caesar story. I love how they start Caesar with this. Then we're going to go through it. instead of doing a whole time loop,
Yeah.
it's like what they did is kind of like what Star Wars did. Put the middle of your story at the beginning, and by the end, you're going to get the start of it. Where this, it's you literally start with a story and you continue it all the way through to the end.
Yeah. Another thing is like this is out of pocket, but I did wish we got like Cornelius' story instead of Noah, Caesar's son. But that is what it is.
So Wes Ball said he didn't want to do it. He's like he wanted to have it connected, but he wanted to do that 300-year time jump. He hates fourth movies because where they pick off right at the very end, kind of like say the Star Wars trilogy, except going into like after the Luke story, they how they done the prequels. It's kind of like a change up. I think that's what he thinks because he's like people are not going to be more excited and anticipated for a movie right after this because you know what's going to happen. Where it's a 300-year time jump, it's everything has changed. There's a whole new story. There's a whole new perspective on what the apes think, on what humans think, and like it shows in the movie, they Caesar like we know what happened in the Caesar days, and but they don't. And it's I think it's a great thing that we're going to see during this trilogy of them setting up this and them finding out what the true meaning of Caesar is. Because of course Rocka knew, but Rocka's dead now.
I
So
don't
they're
think
going
Rock
to
is dead actually.
I could see him definitely like randomly showing up in the middle of the next movie if they continue it.
do you
I'm
think
with
Rocka
Bilal.
do you think Rocka's the new Maurice?
Yes.
I
I
have a
think
feeling too.
I don't think Rock is dead. Like, if this showed a body, sure. But the fact that it didn't show a body, I feel like Rock is alive. That's the same way I feel about Proxima Caesar, man. Like, I don't
Yes.
think he is dead. I think he's alive. I mean, he is a pretty big guy. Pause.
But
His voice turns me on sometimes. Again,
well,
pause.
no. Hold up. I want to talk about this. So, some people have said this, and this will be interesting. So, by the end of the movie, after we think Proclam Caesar is dead, because, like you said, we never see a body or anything, he goes straight into the water. So, we assume Noah now is thinking, oh, yeah, he was right the whole entire time. Like, why did I do this? And I would love for him to be alive and him to team up with Noah and Noah tell him, like, you were right, I was wrong thing. And see, kind of like, because you had the three main, like, the guys, right? But you kind of see this, though, because you had Maurice, Rocka, and, Maurice, Rocket, and Caesar in the original trilogy. And this one, I think we might get Rocka back. I know Noah's gonna be the new Caesar, but it's that his best friend that says he's never scared. I feel like he could be either the new Rocket or Proximus is alive, right? And like he like has like a like conversation with Noah and they like realize what they are and he can become like the new Rocket. Like he knows Noah's gonna be in charge, but it's like that agreement, kind of like how Rocket and Caesar had after Rise. Like
Yeah.
how Rocket thought he was the top dog. Caesar showed him what's up, and he's like, okay, you're in charge now. I'm going to be under you. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think because Proximus thought he was high up, but after the bird attack and all those apes like
Eagle Clan.
going, the Eagle Clan like coming together for Noah, he's saying like this dude can lead a team. He can lead like what Caesar, like the stories of Caesar. He's leading all these apes. Noah can do this, so I think that's what it is. And hopefully, because like you said, Kevin Durant is such a good actor in this.
Yeah.
I would love to
His
see
voice
it.
so sexy, dude.
Dude, we're not talking about that. But I'm really excited
Wait, is he
for
wrong?
What? Don't be blaming me, bro.
Oh, I'm not blaming. I'm supporting you.
Okay.
so I'm kind of excited a little bit if Fade Allen comes back because like every human character in this trilogy, in Caesar's trilogy, there's different humans. I would love to have one human in this whole entire trilogy and have a relationship with Noah, kind of like it builds up, like you could see it. And like you said, I have a feeling later on because she's technically the spy of the humans. That's what she is.
Yeah. She's the alpha of the humans, sort of.
Not the alpha, she's the spy. They literally send her out to get information just to bring it back.
But she could be the alpha in the future.
But I think they will turn against her. I think they're going to use her. They're using her, and she's going to realize it later on, especially once we find out what they're trying to communicate to. Because I was really thinking at the end they're going to show us what they're looking at in the telescope, and we never see it. And I figure what we ever like realize what's up in the telescope, once we figure that out, and the meaning of this, I think the humans will turn against her. She will go with the humans, like you said. And I'm ready for this because, like, I like what Rise did, but then Matt Reeves came in and done Dawn and War. And after rewatching both of those, I have a new appreciation for those movies. Like, I like them. I love Dawn, but like, I love War even more. And like you said, what Westball did, not only he took the lightness, I think, of Rise, he took everything out of that trilogy. He took the lightness of Rise and the easygoingness, but he put that grittiness, the of what the landscape of the apes is and the humans are, kind of like what we got in Dawn and War, and he
Yeah.
put it right in this.
Me personally, I think Dawn is still his best one, but War
Yeah,
is close. It's really
yes,
close.
that's the thing
It
though,
is close.
because especially after watching War, I'm like, because the first, like the beginning, like we will get into it just in a War episode, but it's just like the beginning of War a little bit is like a little bit slow. But once it gets into it, it's kind of like with this. That's my nitpick with this one. The only one that doesn't do is Dawn. So for a little bit for War, Rise in this, it's that first half. Because we don't get Proximus Caesar in this first half of this movie. Once we get to Proximus and get the story going, I was locked in. But it's that
Yeah.
build up.
Yeah, that's why I give it 4 stars, man. I feel like they should have focused more on Proximus Caesar because he was only in it for like 20 minutes.
He feels like a afterthought, which is very strange. Like I honestly would have rather had a movie focus on the journey more towards
Yeah.
the end if it's gonna go, because it feels like a journey film. Like the antagonist isn't really anybody; it's just kind of nature,
But
and
the,
then it just switches midway through. Like we have to have a villain, and while the villain's good and it obviously has importance, I agree. I feel like it should have been put in sooner. I also feel like the death of Proximus feels rushed.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I also have an issue with the marketing because, like, the way they're marketing this thing of make a Proximus Caesar is like big, bad villain, but he's like only in it for 20 minutes. It's like, oh, that's such a bummer. I was watching this movie with a buddy of me. It's like, where is Proximus Caesar? Where is, like, we were whispering to each other, like, where's the main villain? Like, where's the stakes? Like, it takes too long for setting up, and I feel like the runtime is too long.
so
It
for
feels like they
movies,
realize it's too long. You know what I mean? And they're like, we got to cut
Yeah,
it now.
yeah, that's why the ending I thought was like rushed. But that being said,
Yeah, my bad, Dakota.
you're good. So for this, for my biggest pet peeve, because we always get this in trailers. We get some stuff in trailers, and then they get hyped for it. So I checked the runtime when like Proximus came into this movie, and it's like 1 hour 20 or 1 hour 15 you get in. So it's literally half of the movie you get You like get through half the movie before you get to this dude. And if you like, kind of like what Bilal does, if nobody watches trailers for this movie, you're gonna think like, what is this? Like, it's kind of like two tonal shifts in this movie of like you get this journey, but then you get the Proximus thing.
Yeah, I yeah, and I feel like that's another issue with this movie is the tone shift. It doesn't have a simple tone. It's like it doesn't. I feel like the story is great, but it just doesn't understand how it wants to be approached. It doesn't understand what tone it wants. Like there's some points of this movie. It's like, oh, this is super lighthearted, and then like there's some points. Oh, it gets really dark. I'm like, huh? I feel like this movie have a tone issue.
I think that's
Especially with Matt Reeves, I feel like it just is very noticeable considering how he has one set tone.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. But I did like the fact that Promise Caesar was trying to get into the vault, and he was sacrificing these apes. And it's like, oh, this guy doesn't really care about these apes that much, doesn't he? If he's trying to like sacrifice them to get into the vault.
It was a good message on like power and that like
Yeah.
even with like the same with humans, like the ape there will be an ape that craves
Yeah,
power.
but speaking of human, there was a power play by May when she shot that gun.
Yeah. That was a massive power play. You can see it on their faces too. Like they're like, what?
Yeah, and then Promise is like, a woman, is there more goals there? He's-
so. For me, like I want to ask you guys, which do you like that better, the first half or the second half of this movie?
definitely
Definitely
second
at
half.
first. Oh, okay.
For me, it's the second half. You want to know why? First half reminds me of Rise so much. Second half reminds me, like you said, the lighter tone to the darker tone reminds me of Dawn and War, and I love Dawn and War. So once we got to that, like I said, I was locked into the whole entire time because I wish he was more in there. But Proximus reminds me, when I saw this in the trailer, saw it to Koba.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
Because
Koba
Koba,
definitely feels like more of like a hateful figure. Like Proximus definitely feels more power hungry than
Yeah, but the
Koba.
thing about Promise Caesar is he was trying to learn. It's like Ace will learn. I will learn. He was like curious about learning though. I don't think he was like a full fledged villain. He was
but
kind of an anti hero or anti
Yeah.
villain or something along those lines.
but where I was going to go with this? Okay, the only thing that gets me is, like you said, the guy who plays Frank Gallagher. His character kind of was a little bit meaningless in the movie, a little bit, I thought, because it kind of showed, oh yeah, there's humans that can talk. Because of course everyone thinks because after a war, it's like, oh yeah, if you get this disease, it's mutated to where you can't talk. And you see that in not only Nova, but you also see that in like Cordy Harrelson's character at the end of the movie. And you're thinking, oh yeah, all these humans are not going to talk because, of course, we get to the beginning of the movie, you get May, which is Nova. They're thinking, and I was like thinking, I'm like, why are they calling her Nova? And then after watching War, I'm like, okay, I know why they're calling her Nova.
And
No, but
then
it's kind of like what I said before. Like they know some of Caesar's stuff,
yeah,
but they
but
know the full thing because they only know about the first human that was with the clan.
yeah, but
His
like
clan after
Dakota.
he died.
Speaking of Nova, the original, they used to
It's the
call.
original. It's the original also. So that's the thing I like because I feel like they've done a little twist on it a little bit in this new trilogy with like some of these characters, but I'm kind of glad because I just need to talk about it because this thing has been rebooted 2 times. You got Tim Burton's, which that is a piece of shit. That's the undisgraceful movie. I watched
Terrible.
that thing. There is
Terrible.
nothing about that original movies. Nothing. No names. No nothing.
Bro, you
The
know what?
line. The
They
line
even.
that
I know it's. I know what line you're talking about. My bad.
yes, that line pisses me off because it's the one of the best lines in the original movie, and Tim Burton
Get
fucking messed it up.
get your filthy palms out of me, out of
Oh
wait,
wow! Oh, boss!
get your filthy palms off me, you damn dirty ape. There we go. Figure out.
But they said dirty human, and Tim Burton's. I'm like, dude,
What? It was so badly done, bro. It was like
and
Tim
like
Burton
for
just
me,
doesn't understand that original apes whatsoever, and you didn't even care about it.
because he didn't use anybody's original name. Like this trilogy and with Kingdom, you get like not only Nova, like you said, but we get Cornelius, Caesar.
Caesar,
Um, I wonder if we're gonna get
Sarah.
Zero later on, which I'm hoping because I like the Cornelius of how it's Caesar's dad in the original movie,
Yeah,
but it's Caesar's son in this current thing,
yeah,
and I love that, and I love how they done their own twist to it also, and like I'm saying for these future movies, they might do their own thing. They might do the Icarus thing, but it's not going to be the exact same thing as
yeah.
what.
Like it's about seeing the source material, take inspiration from it, but put your own twist to it, and
And I
that's
think
what is.
that's what Westball wants to do with this trilogy.
And that's what Matt Reeves did with his, right? Like I feel like Ape Don't Kill Ape was the one the was it was a quote in I think the last movie, Ape Don't Kill Ape. If you see
I,
the last one from the originals, they brought that back in Dawn.
and like in the first original one, it was Apes Together Strong, and I know like they never mentioned that in Burton's L, and they do in this one and these, and like you said, it pays like a homage to like the originals, but like own twist, and I love that. But getting back to what I was talking about is I want to know about this scene from you guys. I really hate this that they posted this scene online. I quit. I wish studios would like stop putting scenes online before a movie comes out. It's the scene of when Raka and Noah's talking, and they're like, "Oh yeah, she don't talk. How we're going to talk to her?" She's like, "My name's May." Raka just like shocks and like drops the stuff he was doing.
Yeah, I feel like that's poor marketing on their
Yeah,
point.
Like
I
I didn't
agree
see that
too.
movie before I watched. Like then after I watched, I saw online it was released days earlier. I'm like, why did you release this? I'm like, I'm glad I didn't see it because that was one of the most genuine reactions I had to a movie.
Oh, my whole theater was laughing during that.
Yeah, I love that scene. Rocka, it's like Maurice, or kind of like what Rocker reminds me of is kind of like Maurice and Bad Ape combined. You got the wiseness of Rocka, but you know how Bad Ape in like War is just like funny and
Yeah.
has some comedic moments. Rocka has that also.
Yeah.
But do you guys got any more thoughts about this?
Uh, I really hope we get to see that line that Tim Burton butchered. Get your filthy pawns on you,
I
you
hope we
damn
do
dirty
too.
ape. Um, I, I mean, they did that in Rise, which was with
I'd
the
stand up and clap in the
Wait, they
theater.
did do it in Rise. Holy crap! I forgot about that.
when Caesar says no for the first time. That's what's the
Yes. Oh my goodness! I just realized that. So they
um.
are good with it.
But Proximus Caesar Baby Life, cause come on, man, like you're not gonna do my boy dirty with that singing and the eagles just biting him off the cliff. Also, the singing. Did you like the singing? Oh, huh,
It kind of
huh,
shows. Okay,
I liked it. I
oh,
liked
huh,
it.
huh. See,
okay, because you know why? Because for me, it's kind of like Noah's thing.
bro, actually, speaking of that, remember when Noah was talking to Rocka, and Rocka is like, we're talking about the singing. They were talking about, uh, Rocket says to Noah, can you sing? Like, do sing for the eagle.
Yeah.
Noah's like, not right now. And then we saw the scene of Rocket flooding away. But I like that way they foreshadowed that towards the end of the movie.
And for me, I really like that because what Caesar had was apes together strong. That was the saying, right? That was the thing everyone said. But you could see this song that they have connects them all together. And it's kind of like Noah's thing with his Eagle Clan. And I'm hoping they do this more because I kind of want this, even though they could build on the legacy of Caesar, I kind of want to have Noah to do his own thing and build his own legacy. And I want to know from you guys: do they do only the Noah trilogy, or do they carry his story on in the next trilogy, or do they do another ape?
See, like that's where like not confused, but I feel like it's very open ended because I could see the next movie being not about Noah at all, and it just kind of shows how the apes have evolved since the last movie. But I could also see them continuing Noah's Ark because they very much like show his progression at the end and how he becomes like somebody that can be or has the potential to be a leader or a figure that like that. My only thing is that I feel like it's not strong enough at the end to really secure if that's where they're going to keep going with it. So that's kind of why I'm like weird about it. Like I don't really know which direction it could go.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be Noah's journey of appreciating Caesar's legacy more. Right now, he's very unsure. And then I think in the second movie, he's not going to believe into like believe Caesar's legacy. And then third movie, I feel like it's going to have that flip, and it's going to like, oh yeah, Caesar was right, and then just have that beautiful legacy ending
Do
for
you
Caesar, but Nova himself.
I
do
could
you
definitely see that.
do you think it hurts them that they announced that this is going to be a trilogy? Because first of all, when they did Caesar's trilogy, we didn't know we were getting a second and third movie. There was no open ending. Like this one has an open ending to it. Like it's going to set up something. The other ones didn't. Like Don always talked about a war, but they never set it up. Like it hooked you right in because like this is like it's like a cliffhanger. It's like literally of a part one of part two. It leaves you on a cliffhanger. And I've never thought that the Caesar trilogy had cliffhangers. It was perfect endings
Yeah,
to each movie.
but the thing about that is the original Apes movies had that cliffhangers. So
That's true. Yeah, especially the original. I mean, like it just ends. Like you're like not a cliffhanger, but you know what I mean. It just kind of ends, and you're like, oh shit.
Like
but
I could see like Rice gets the post credit scene of like the guy having the simian flu, but like war like Don, you don't get nothing. You just get oh yeah, war's coming. But like
I mean, Dawn was kind of a cliffhanger of Caesar, like zooming into Caesar's, like, oh shit, I cannot trust these humans no more. That was a perfect setup to war.
do you think it was
So,
a good idea for
I
them
definitely
to
think so.
continue with the story, or should they just done this the original trilogy by itself?
what
No,
was
I
the
think
question?
it's good they did this. I think it definitely is like fleshing out more of like the idea behind Planet of the Apes and making it feel more than just okay, this is the idea of this animal becoming a dominant species. Like there's a lot of like they
Layer.
have to yeah, there's a lot of layers in like what they want to talk about with like evolution, human nature, what is human nature and what's animal nature and the differences between that. And I
Yeah.
just think it really does a good job of showing its worth, especially in an era where I feel like there's a million franchises coming back or a million new trilogies, and they can't really give you a solid reason for why they're back outside of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, but like, thing about this movie is, I like the character Noah. As a matter of fact, I love his friends.
Yeah, his friends are really. I want to see more of their adventures. It kind of, in the weirdest way possible, it gave me like a Kingdom Hearts vibe
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you meet like Sora and like hearing everybody, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is so cool. Like they're just
And
kids having a good time, and then like life just happens. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but I like the beginning of their friendship because one of the friends like jump to get egg, and then it was like show off, you know. And then no one does something show off in the end. They're like, "Oh, you're a show off." I like that little bond, you know.
It feels realistic. It's like just back to four friends being friends. You know?
Exactly.
So I was wondering. So we see a 10-year time jump in time, then a 2-year time jump in war. Do you think the fifth movie will have a time jump?
I feel like this one is going to take off right after the last one.
I think either like right after or like max like 5 years. Like it's enough to show progress, but we still haven't seen much since last time. Like they've been on their own and building their character more.
Because like you could like the only thing I'm thinking like you can start off after this for the fifth one, but I think the sixth one you do gotta do a time jump
Yeah.
because especially like if below what you talked about is like he goes against like what Caesar believes in, but by the end of the second movie, like he starts believing, like he believes right, and you can
Yeah.
see in this third movie if there's a time jump of what Noah has done to help out the humans.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also hope the opening is like did you hear the like the credit scene where you hear like an ape's noise?
Wait, there's a I didn't stay. I
Well,
left
there's
here.
no post credit scene, but it just ends with an ape like noise. So
Wait,
I was just wondering, is that hinting that Rocca or Proxima Caesar is alive?
I could definitely see something like that. I want to rewatch that now because I didn't get that.
oh yeah, I do want to see that to watch that end, and it might be Proximus. I have a feeling it's Proximus
I
because,
could
like you
see
said,
him being back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see both of them being back. To
You
be
know
honest
what would
with
be
you,
so dope? Like the next movie opens up and Proxima Caesar just lay down, be alive.
I actually like that. Like you kind of set that up, then you after that, then you get right into what. Because do you think we find out what they're looking at in the second movie or the third movie of the trilogy?
Definitely a second movie, especially the way they're hitting that in the end.
Okay, predictions. What do you think it could be?
Honestly, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, my best guess would either be like Proximus or just like I don't even. It could just be just to have the effects to end the movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't really. It's kind of a. I don't know. I feel like it's really open ended.
Plot twist: Caesar's somehow alive.
He was
But
frozen with Walt Disney the entire time.
do you think it's Icarus they're looking at though, or you think it's a satellite or something in space?
See, that's the thing. Like, I could also just see that being the moon, and they're just like, "Oh wow," or like just a planet or a star in general.
I was thinking Mars. You see how it's red at the end? I'm
I
wondering,
could
is it Mars?
because they show the planets whenever they go down in the vault. You know what I mean? So they kind of like, and they're looking at the planets, and he almost recognizes it, but it seems like it's still foreign to him.
I wonder what that. Oh, I wonder when Noah looked at that book of the monkeys in the zoo. I wonder if that changes perspective of humans.
I definitely think it does. I think that was one of the best scenes in the movie because to it definitely shows in a way that is very visual. Like they don't trust 100%. They can't. Like there's just something that will always be there where they can't trust them.
Yeah, that's
And
why. That's what I was thinking. It's like, oh wait, maybe Noah's gonna be questioning Caesar's legacy in the second movie. Cause small things like that, right?
because I definitely think Noah's now has a more like nuance to look at the whole Caesar thing and recognizes it as more of like a religion and more
Yeah.
of a prophet, and like that kind of separates the truth of the legacy of Caesar from the ideology of Caesar,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
very, very realistic to how humans interpret
Yeah.
prophets.
Yeah, exactly. But what's that world area kind of look like? Where the Colonel was a Warplane the Apes?
Okay,
I
okay,
thought
okay.
that
I
too.
was going to talk to you about that. So, Mom, I watched War After with Mom after we watched Kingdom. She thinks that is the vault where the Colonel was the vault, because you see how the army guys were going to get the weapons
Yeah.
and they got avalanche. She's thinking it's the vault, and it's got eroded over time, that everything has like all the trees and stuff are gone, and there's just water because it's the winter time there in war. We never get to see the summertime.
Yeah.
No, I
But
definitely could see that being that.
but do you think that telescope area reminds you of the playground or Rise of the Planet of the Apes a little bit?
Oh,
It did a little bit.
oh my goodness, I didn't think of that. But you gotta think, the only place with a telescope I could think of is NASA.
No, I took that as like a planetarium or like someone that like professionally
Yeah,
does
because
astrology, because it just seemed like, I don't know. I felt like it was something where the idea was that they discovered there's more than their planet
yeah,
because they're
but
so new to understanding everything around them.
because you know the shot when Noah went up the Mediterranean, whatever, doesn't it look like a little bit of Caesar? Like if you just match those scenes together, you can really see how similar it looks.
And just that echo of his legacy, even if it is through a whole different character.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because one of my friends is a massive fan of Rise Dawn of War. He's like, he was geeking out. I recognize that place. I'm like, oh my bro, shut the
I
fuck
got you.
up. I'm
Yes,
trying to
this
watch
this
the
just
movie,
popped into
fam.
my mind. What about, this is just a little tease, especially homage to the original. What about if what they're looking at is not in the sky, but off in the distance? What about if they're in New York City, right? The apes don't know what this thing is. Because when May looked through this, she didn't have a reaction like the apes did. What about if it's the Statue of Liberty that you're looking at and it's lighting up?
I mean, that's definitely like a stretch, but I do think that it could be something like where it's on Earth, or like they see, like you said, like something that is different that we would be like, ah, yeah, that's a skyline. You know what I mean?
Because, like, they don't know, like, the humans know what the Statue of Liberty is. But it's like the apes don't know this. It's like it could pull in later on of like what the humans and the apes were back then, and we can get
Yeah.
more of that lore.
I definitely feel like it depends on the location of like where this movie was too, because I feel like they're not very super clear with it, and I actually really like that. My only other thing with the Statue of Liberty is like I feel like that's such a prominent part of the end of the first movie that I could see them just completely avoiding that
Yeah,
until like the last movie.
but I feel like there was a scene where in Kingdom outside the Golden Gate Bridge.
I
It
was thinking
did
that
seem to
too.
echo that, yeah.
So I feel like it's not anywhere near New York City. So this makes sense just to be in San Francisco. I mean,
And it would make sense for the evolution of like Caesar's philosophy too, because while we don't 100% know if it's like across the country, it clearly was enough of an influence to where there's clans out of it. But that would also make sense if it was generationally coming from San Francisco,
yeah.
like wooded
And
area.
I really hope we get learn different ape clans. We know the Eagle clan. What other clans are out there?
And there will be, I feel like it's definitely one of those deals where it's like
Will there be
I
like a
could see there being
tiger
like
clan or
raiders.
a tiger clan where
I
apes ride tigers? That'd be so dope.
That'd be the best movie, dude. I would watch that. I would watch that movie at least like 2 or 3 times if they rode tigers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there gotta be different animals, like Eagle Clan, different. I don't know,
Ostrich Clan.
uh, hippopotamus clan.
The Squirrel Clan.
Okay, the only thing that I'm glad they're not doing, I hope they never do this, is you know how in the original they are dressed like humans.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Don't
won't
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah, don't do
Nah,
that with this.
they're not gonna do that, bro.
I hope they don't do that. That just it kind of. I understand that for like the '60s or something, like because
I
this was the
mean,
first
yeah,
movies
y'all.
like you don't know where.
I mean, they didn't have a technology to do that, bro.
Yeah, it was just a practical world then.
But you guys set up because you guys got to think that's the first movie in '68. There's nothing about Planet of the Apes,
Yeah. I mean, I
and
find it very distracting that they even didn't even try to act like apes during it. It was just
it
like,
kind of bothered me a little bit. But you guys think, like you said, they didn't have mocap back then, and it's the evolution of 3,000 years. So we can see in like 3,000 years, like the apes like could change. Like they could might not have clothes, but they could walk like humans probably.
Oh, for sure. Or like that's why I feel like I would honestly not be super upset, even if it's not in the next movie, but like in the next 2 or 3 movies, like a massive jump where you see like, okay, maybe the first like evolved ape is born. That's clearly showing more humanistic traits than ever before. And that causes a division or that causes like a conversation to be had. And I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this franchise continues to keep going. And I love that it's finally back and being done by people who really care about it.
I hope that actually, it would it be kind of cool that they hear me out if they went back in time for like the last scene of this trilogy and have a talk between Noah and Caesar.
I think I think having Caesar come back in any way for like a subtle like
Like small
ode,
cameo,
yeah,
nothing major, but like I feel like that'd be so dope, bro. Like especially I know it's probably not gonna happen, but just to end the trilogy with a conversation between Caesar and Noah and see how Caesar would have been so proud of Noah be such a remarkable and emotional ending to like this Noah trilogy. At least that I put it.
yeah, and he just it pretty much excuse me, almost like a hey like Yoda coming back. You know what I'm saying? It's like hey, you did a good job, you did it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I want something like that really bad. Just to end the trilogy. Not for Caesar to be in it for the whole time, but just to have that last 5 minute ending of a little talk between Caesar and Noah just to end the movie.
Just a
And
little Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn at the end kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Just because in the end, hey, it's about them carrying Caesar's legacy. Like you see the necklace. That's gonna play a part in the second movie. And it'll be great to end the film with a little Caesar cameo saying, "Oh, Noah, you did a great job." That'd be so dope.
And
That's
he's
the
just
only
like,
time I wish we see time travel, just like that little bit.
and maybe he gets a glimpse of an event that, like, I could see him possibly seeing like the death for like 10 seconds, and it's like, oh, that's from the opening of the first movie. Like, you know what I mean? Just any little like ode to an event that we've already like seen before.
Yeah, like something that just goes full circle.
So is that mostly it for you guys for King of the
Yeah,
Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
I have anything else to say. Yeah,
So let's get right into it. There's have been some trailers that have been released this week. So we got Doom Prophecy.
Did not watch the trailer
Did you
for
still watch
either.
that trailer yet, Sammy?
it looks cool. I'm
I
interested
actually
in it.
like it.
Yeah, I don't think it looks very different for 10,000 years, but I'm interested to see what they do.
Then we got a trailer for Bad Boys Ride or Die, which I watched that. I can't wait for this movie.
I have not seen the trailer for that.
Me
Oh,
neither.
I love Bad Boys, and I'm just excited for this movie. We also got a new trailer for Long Legs. Dude, I am ready for this movie.
For
It's
long legs,
creepy.
I think long
Nick,
legs
have
is
you
going to
seen
be
the
like a
trailer
massive
yet?
surprise.
Have you seen the trailer, the new
The
trailer
new
yet?
one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
I'm just gonna say Nick Cage. There's a jump scare at the end, and it got me. It's like he's gonna be creepy in this movie. he or Michael Monroe could deserve an Oscar nomination for this.
You got me
It's
hyped
looking
already,
that
bro.
it's looking that good. It's eerie. It looks like it comes
Did
out.
you hear my buzzer about laundry by any chance?
I did.
Yeah, I
I
heard you.
totally did.
But overall, I'm really excited for this movie, and I think it comes out very soon. I don't know if it's in June or July.
It's in July, I think, like mid-July.
July. Oh, it's July 12th. It's the week after Maxine comes out.
Which I'm
So
ready
I'm
for.
really excited for that. But, well, do you need to get your laundry real quick?
Nah.
Okay, so let's get into movie news. We got 3 topics this week that I want to talk about. And first off is the Apes saga now. We get announced after the success of Kingdom that we're getting 9 movies now. And I just want to know, are you guys excited for this? Because we kind of did go into it a little bit during our review.
I'm excited. You know what they should do? Is do the Noah trilogy and do a Coriolanus spinoff. Okay, done.
I think I'm definitely interested in like where it goes. My worry is that like quality of film with 5 being announced.
That's my biggest issue.
I
And
think
it's
they still have
Disney.
to be consistent.
It's Disney, and you see what Disney has done with big franchises, with a lot of films. They ruined Star Wars, and now they're ruining Marvel. And I don't want them to ruin this.
Well, I don't even think it's. I think it's just like calling something too quick. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to ever feel like I feel like there could be a point where the audience is like, okay, this is oversaturation. We still have 2 or 3 more movies. Like, but at the same time, I could see it not being like that. It just depends on how they structure
So
it and really go about it.
I was thinking, like I was talking to you earlier when you were away below, I want them to do, right now we got the first movie. Do 3 years time, do the second. So 2027, do the second movie. 2030, do the third movie. Do another long time wait gap. Don't jump right into it. Give it a little bit of what, do like 7 years if you need to again. If you need, just to give people time, and not only that, for like Disney and Fox to get more stuff out. Get planned of what they want to do. Come back and say like in 2037. Do one 2040 and 2043. They end it
Okay,
like that.
that would be kind of cool. I could see that.
Because I think what helped with this movie is we got 7 years from when War came out. So it was not like saturated like you said. Like, what was the Star Wars trilogy? That thing ended in 4 years. So it was 2, 2, 2. And like, I know now it's oversaturated with the Disney Plus shows and stuff. But like, if people don't watch Disney Plus shows or anything, like where they're doing, like I think the next movie comes out 2026, so it's 7 years from one movie to another. I think that would be great. I'm kind of glad it's just movies for this, and they're not doing any TV shows. I'm really hoping they don't do TV shows. That would
Me
piss me
too.
off.
I hope they just stick with doing the films.
Because everyone's like, oh yeah, let's do some spin-offs. I'm like, you gonna tell them spin-offs and they're gonna make damn TV shows out of this. They're not gonna do movies for you guys. You're gonna
That's
just
the go-to nowadays.
Bad A buoy, please.
I do want a movie about that though. I do like Bad Ape. I love that. He's like, okay, my favorite scene from, I just want to tell you guys, because have you watched War yet, Sammy? Rewatched it
I
yet?
haven't rewatched it yet. No.
So I was going to ask you if you remember this part. Bilal, you remember the part of when him and Caesar are talking? He's like, wait 1 second. He goes off, he slides, and he falls on the ground. He's like, I'm okay.
You
I
know,
do remember that.
you know the funny thing is that was supposed to be in the movie, bro. The
It just
actor,
happened.
the actor fell and says, "I'm okay," but Matt Reeves saw it and thought it fit the character well, so he just put it in there.
I would
love
leave that too. It
That
was
was
so
perfect.
funny.
I know. I love Caesar's reaction. He looked at Maurice. He's like, What the fuck did we just get into?
Dude,
Right
I
now?
feel like any circus was actually confused on what was going
I
on.
think
there.
it was too. But let's get into our second piece of news. We'll talk about this, Bilal.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I want to let you talk about it, Bilal.
Supergirl is gonna be. Wait, what's the release date?
Let me look it up.
June
But
26, 2026?
2026. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I've been high for Supergirl. I love Millie Alcock, especially what she did in House of Dragon. So proud of her getting this big role in Supergirl, and I think she's going to absolutely kill it. And this is my most anticipated DC project, without doubt.
No, and I think the storyline that they're doing too is going to be really awesome. I feel like it's a very serious, like, it seems like they want to do a serious, like, interpretation of Supergirl and really get it right. And I'm
Yeah.
excited to see them, like, actually approach it from a comic book
Yeah,
standpoint.
and I just love seeing solo women projects, man, for superheroes. We barely get any of those, and I really want a successful one that isn't Wonder Woman because I don't like the actress Gal Gadot. But anyways, Millie Alcock is absolutely going to kill it.
So
No, yeah.
oh no, Sammy, you could say.
No, go ahead. No, you're good. I was just
So
say
I
yeah.
think James Gunn right now is doing the right thing because you got Superman set up, and then this is gonna be his second movie in this reboot, and I'm kind of glad it's Superman and Supergirl because you're gonna get a little tease of Supergirl and Superman
Yeah,
that
but
releases next year.
my issue with Superman Legacy is there's so many characters in there already. I mean, there's Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern that's gonna be in there. Then you have Hawkgirl that's gonna be in there. You're gonna have Supergirl who's gonna be in there. And then obviously you have the villains Lex Luthor and the other ones.
So for me, what I think about that is this is a big cast, but this is gonna be a Superman movie. I think they're gonna show up either a little bit in the movie or right at the very end. It's like a little tease of what the future is gonna be. But I think this movie's focused on Clark and David Cornsweet as Superman because is Brainiac supposed to be in this movie, or is it just Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor and then some other villains I don't know the names of.
Because after that photo, because I don't know if it's Lex Luthor or Brainiac that's doing that, but it looks awesome. And I think that's what James Gunn is shooting for in this movie. It sets up the future. I think he wants to because you gotta think this is a universe, and he knows how to do good things for a universe. Because of course Marvel gave him full control of Guardians, and you see out of all of Phase 5 so far, that's the best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
And he took full control. He didn't have no setup for it. Like he teases the future, but it's not like for King Dynasty or even Avengers 5 or like
Yeah.
Secret Wars. Like it sets up for his own of what he wants or like what he wants Marvel to do for the Guardians. And I think he has full control of DC now. He's like directing this first movie. I kind of hope he directs Supergirl a little bit to get like these first two movies off the bat, good jumping forward. Then if you want, don't do Batman for the third movie. I think you need to do Batman a little bit later on.
I don't think he'll direct Batman.
No,
be
he's not.
honest.
Andy Muschietti is, which is my
Yeah.
only problem a little bit. But I think that should not be the third film.
The
I think
Flash,
you should do.
the Flash was ass, and you lied. I don't like that.
I think the Batman movie should be the fourth or fifth because, like,
Give
you
me
got
give me as Damian Wayne.
Yes.
Oh wait. I'm brown. He's white. Never mind. That's not gonna work out.
um because like you got Swamp Thing in this. I think James Mangold's supposed to do it. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like James Mangold's tied with the what biopic is he doing? Bob Dylan with Timothy.
And
Right
Star
now.
Wars. He's got a Star Wars movie coming right after.
No, they canceled his Star Wars movie.
They did?
No. I think that's gonna be later on. They're doing the Ray one right now. They're gonna
Oh
do that one
yeah,
first.
yeah.
They're doing that in the Mando.
Yeah, because he's doing the origin of the Force.
Yeah, I think he's he's the Dawn of the Jedi. That's right. But I think they're gonna
I'm
let him do
falling
his
asleep,
thing.
bro.
I feel that.
Bro.
It's late.
But
Bro.
I think that's mostly it. Let's get into our final topic.
There's
And
another topic.
yeah. So Bilal, you messaged me this the other day. I don't know if you watched it yet, Sammy.
Did I?
Yeah, Roadhouse 2.
Oh, I saw that where they announced that.
Did you watch Roadhouse?
Not yet.
Bilal, how do you feel about this? We're getting Roadhouse 2 with Jake Gyllenhaal returning.
Yay.
Yeah, dude, I am ready. I am hyped. The only thing is, like, I want to know what they're going to do.
That's it. I can see it being cash grabby. Like I really hope it isn't, because it kind of feels cash grabby.
But it's on Prime Video. That's the only problem. Put the damn thing in the theater. That's my only problem. You gonna shove it on Prime Video again? No, give Doug Liman and Jake Gyllenhaal the budget they need to put this in theaters, because that's the one damn complaint that everyone had with this, is this would have been more fun in the theater. Like, I love this movie, but if it was in the theater, I would love it even more than it already does.
I would just do an Amazon Studios release. I don't know why they don't do that, where it can easily be marketed and be on Prime like that. But
Kind of like
then it's still
Saltburn.
Thursday. Yeah, exactly like Saltburn. Like as soon as it was like a month in, it was like, all right, going to Prime.
But I think that's it, guys, for
Yeah.
episode 17 of the Cinematic Voice podcast. So if you guys are listening to the audio versions right now, Apple or Spotify, give us a follow, rate, give us a rating on here. If you guys are watching the video version on YouTube right now, give us a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We post reviews every Friday, review episodes every Friday, new podcast episodes every Monday. So next week we are doing the Mad Max review. It's going to be our upcoming review. And then next week, we're going to be talking about Furiosa. Bilal, it's going to be your week, my guy. Furiosa is coming.
I'm ready.
I'm so ready, guys.
Furiosa.
So, guys, with that being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
MBK, going to bed.